Okay. Now it's OBS that crashed. OBS had an error and I had to close it fully. Even when I closed it, nothing would come back. Literally. Even when I would close it, it would still be there. It would still say as if it was on. So yeah, nothing works today. Nothing wants to do jack shit. And everything is pissing me off and I'm sick of it. I was going to have a great time, yeah, like Jacksepticeye, not be able to talk for tomorrow, but no! Everything decided to be a dick because I was trying to stay in a good mood. Before I got here, I was in a bad mood. Before I got here, I was in a bad mood. But I tried to like make myself feel better by playing Happy Wheels, but even then, nothing works. So even when I try to be happy, I can't. When I ask to be happy, I never I never get happiness when I want to be happy. Because nothing wants me happiness. My PC doesn't want happiness. My programs on my PC doesn't want me to be happy. Nothing wants me to be happy. Fuck. Anyway, so I thought might as well like watch. I thought that might as well watch a few videos because I have 3 videos to watch for a while. Malpain released a new video almost a week ago. And honestly, I have to be honest with you guys. I was starting to get worried about him because he said that he was going to do a special month for February, but he never did. So I got worried. So I got worried from him. I started to get worried, but now I'm glad that he's back. So yeah, there's that. Decino released a video about released an analysis video about doing damn it, stop. You're making me showing me videos right now. I don't want to watch those. I lost my train of thought. Decino released a video, analysis video on completing Nightmare, completing Nightmare, and Alex Gister released another video, which I'm still gonna watch that one first because it's the shortest. Okay, so that's new. He changed the name of. Okay, hang on. One of the things about this. Okay, the things I've been starting to do recently, like 2 months ago, he released a video about that was originally simply called Mystifying Oracle 1. And there wasn't a subtitle in it, but now there is. In that same 2 months ago, he released the OST for the whole thing. I don't know why he released the OST. I don't know why, but just did. Then he released an official series trailer with a few parts that we've never seen before in it. Now released 5 days ago, he released Mystifying Oracle 2 Evocation. Mystifying Oracle 1, by the way, I forgot to mention, is now as a subtitle, which is called Salutation. Really, the end doesn't exist, just Salutation. So I guess we'll see. By the way, lower the volumes a bit. I lower the video. And everything freeze. I so want to destroy everything right now. I'm so mad. I need to punch something. But I don't want to harm my fist either. Because I know I will. So it's this thing is 7 minutes. So let's see.
viral video from the United States has surfaced online of a mysterious ghostly apparition captured by 21-year-old Joel Hayes on YouTube.com. Hayes channel has become a more violent sensation in an online interview. Hayes has...
Yes, the footage is entirely authentic, and I plan on...
confirmed that the footage is authentic and there is more to be seen. Stay tuned for more information regarding Hayes' wonderful and mysterious experience.
You didn't tell me you're internet famous.
I mean, kinda.
How'd you do it? Like, string? Magnets?
Neither.
Really? Do you read the comments?
I'm gonna try not to.
They really want to see more.
Yeah, I'm pretty aware.
And fake it. Like use some fishing line or something.
I'm not doing, I can't do practical.
How's your mom doing?
I visited on like Friday, and the nurse said that she'll be out within like a week or so.
You're gonna tell her about this, right?
Maybe. Well, no, probably not. I don't want her to be worrying about another thing right now.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you cutting out?
Joel, is that screaming?
What? 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 The water has stopped running. The air smells of burnt matches. My mom was pushed down the stairs. Stay tuned. What the fuck? I'm really curious. I really want to know where he takes this. Like, where Alex was going to take this. By the way, I need to mention again, he's 19. He's 19 making this incredible stuff. 80,000 subscribers, going strong. He has the highest subscriber count of any analog horror stuff. I'm really happy for him. At least that I know of. I don't know if Kane Pixels has more. You know, the creator of the backroom stuff? I don't know if he has more.
Are you still there?
Are you still there? Look at his hands.
Did you put my mom in the hospital? Was that you? Were you the one looking at it?
System Recorder Pro now with added video functionality. Oh god, oh no! It's just like weird effects. It's weird effects based on like of this the story, like the olderness thing. Long story. Long story. Go watch like go watch like the whole stream where I watched like a bunch of them all in a row. I should make myself a compilation, but the fact that he's not done yet makes you want to wait. Wait, was that really Razorblade? Yes, it is. What's he doing? Oh. Oh. That's what he's doing. Oh. Stop it! Oh God, stop it! Jesus. How much? Oh. Oh, we're not done. Um. I. Where are you going with this? Yeah, I'm starting to think like the mystifying oracle stuff is just like another thing. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's supposed to be to follow up. I don't know if it's supposed to like an extra thing to Mandela. Or is it supposed to be its own thing? I don't know. Okay. Okay, well, there was one video we had to watch. I wanted to watch. Not had to, but I wanted to watch. Anyway, my boy Decino has been going. I've just finished going through Doom 1 and Sigil on Nightmare. And I seriously congratulate him for that. He said for a long time, he said like a few years ago that he would never be able to do it. And lo and behold, he did. And I am happy for him, really, really happy for him, because it's really not an easy thing. Yeah, I always call him my boy Decino. I don't know why, okay? Just don't ask. I like to because I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I grew up with him. For some reason, even though I barely know him. Anyways, so he released a a video all completely on a Nightmare. Even though he already did release a video on Nightmare, it was through someone else's playthrough, through Peter Lawrence's playthrough, which he talked about as well based on what he saw. But now since he played it, I'm pretty sure he's going to say something different now. So let's see. And also he started his Doom 2 playthrough Nightmare. His Doom 2 Nightmare playthrough right now. So if you want to go and watch that, go. Because just to be able to do that, I honestly I can't. I tried playing just regular Doom on Nightmare and got completely stuck on Toxin Refinery, which is the 3rd level, by the way. And most people say that is the breaking point for like most things, like doing a pacifist run, which some people should do, like in Nightmare as well. So let's see.
2023, the year where classic Doom's Nightmare difficulty will go through a renaissance. Is it? No, I just made it up. But after playing Ultraviolence for so long, Nightmare is an awesome refreshment. Even the most hardened Ultraviolence pros may have to adjust their playstyle to survive the base games on Nightmare. So I did talk about Nightmare specific mechanics in previous videos. I've mentioned the aggressiveness, the projectile speed changes, turbo pinkies, respawning, and so forth. These were spread out over several videos. This analysis will be about these mechanics too, but in deeper detail and neatly compiled into a single video. But first, let's go back in time. It's the year 1994. People all over the world are enjoying this new phenomenon called Doom. However, some super epic gaming nerds believe the game is too easy, even on Ultraviolence, so they complain to id Software that the game's not challenging enough. id Software, unhappy with the complaints, started working on a difficulty that, in their eyes, was not even remotely fair. So, as a joke, when version 1.2 got released on February 17, 1994, it revealed Nightmare difficulty to the world to shut up the Ultraviolence babies. Hold on a second. Citation needed. Was Nightmare even added as a joke? Were we lied to all this time? There's only one way to find out.
Right.
Dear John Romero, Nightmare, joke difficulty, yay or nay? Bye, Pumpkin Man.
Sad. What?
Hey Decino, I had read some posts on Usenet back then with some players saying UV wasn't as tough as they had hoped it would be. Then others chimed in and said they wish there was a really hard mode in the game. And I thought, oh really? Okay then, you're all dead. I told John Carmack we need to make an even more difficult mode and call it Nightmare. The two things that will destroy all players is enemies firing twice as fast and respawning after 30 seconds. That would just ruin players who said the game was too easy. It wasn't meant to be fair or even finishable. I can't even get past E1M3 in Nightmare. Any level with backtracking would be almost impossible. So John implemented it, and it was my idea for the double speed and respawning. Kevin did the menu art. I played Doom a lot before that edition, and I could blast everything in the game without a problem, and figured that's what it would take to be an impossible challenge to me.
So there it is from the man himself.
Wow. Wow. I knew he already did something with him, but God. Like, I thought it was just like a special thing, but wow. Even just getting back, just writing stuff like that, they actually even respond to you and do voiceover for your video. That's just ridiculous. John, you're just... Romero, you're just... Oh, you're just too precious. Man, you're just too nice.
Thank you, John Romero, for the swift reply. In id's eyes, it was a difficulty so tough, it would make most maps unfinishable. Ah, if only they knew. Enough backstory. Let's select Nightmare difficulty and see how it affects the game. When you select Nightmare through the menu, you will be greeted by a welcoming message. Are you sure? This skill level isn't even remotely fair. Press Y or N. Press Y and let the fun begin. Nightmare difficulty is based
Sorry, just let... That's how just...
Press Y or N. Press Y and let the fun begin. Nightmare difficulty is basically ultraviolence with 3 additional mechanics: fast monsters, respawning monsters, and double ammo pickups. In the original Doom executable, cheats were disabled except for itclev and itdt, but the source code commented out this restriction. Most source ports nowadays allow cheats on Nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fast
Basically.
monsters first. Stating the obvious, they are aggressive.
Gone. Say that again.
Normally, when an enemy wakes up, they must move a bit until they're able to attack. On Nightmare, this delay does not exist. Enemy spots you, they will immediately attack. This is not the case when playing with fast monsters and other difficulties, by the way. This is an exclusive change to Nightmare only. Normally, monsters must move a bit before they'll decide to do a ranged attack. On Nightmare, they don't need to. They will act like turrets and attack non-stop until you get out of their line of sight. They will only move a tiny bit if the distance check randomness fails. So if you're far away, they'll become less turret-like. Imps, Pinkies, Cacodemons, Hell Knights and Barons behave differently on Nightmare difficulty too. Whenever you start a new game on Nightmare difficulty, a special condition is checked where the current skill level is compared to the newly selected one. If the current skill level is not Nightmare and the new one is, then the game will alter the following. Pinkies will move and attack twice as fast and their pain duration will be halved. Spectres too, as they're classified as Pinkies.
Yeah.
Imp and Cacodemon fireballs will travel twice as fast. Baron of Hell and Hell Knight fireballs will travel 33% faster. The Pinky alterations are interesting though, as the game doesn't set the adjusted speed, but halves the current state durations in memory instead. When you start a new game that is at Nightmare difficulty, the game checks if the current one is Nightmare and restores the Pinky state durations by doubling it again. This becomes a big problem when save games are involved. Check this out. We start a game on Nightmare. Our current skill level is not Nightmare, so this condition is true. The game halves the Pinky state durations to make them go turbo. Let's make a save and start a new game on Ultraviolence. Our skill level was Nightmare and now it's Ultraviolence, so restore the Pinky state durations by doubling them again. Makes sense, right? Well, loading the Nightmare save sets the current skill level to Nightmare without altering the Pinkies. That's only done if you start a new game. If we start a new Ultraviolence game again, the game sees that the current skill level is Nightmare and the new one will be Ultraviolence. That means it will run this code and double the state durations again.
That is
Now we've got
weird.
normal Pinkies on Nightmare. Kind of weird, huh? There's no limit to this either. You can do this multiple times, with each new game started, halving the Pinky speed over and over.
Jeez.
At some point it will take literal minutes for Pinkies to advance.
Wow. That is literally over 36 minutes.
You can also do this the other way around. Make a save on, let's say, Ultraviolence, start a new game on Nightmare,
Oh no.
and reload the save.
It's gonna. Oh
Start
god.
a new game on Nightmare again, and load your Ultraviolence save. This will run the Pinky state duration halving code, turning Turbo Pinkies into instant death machines. Code, turning Turbo Pinkies into instant death machines.
Jeez.
After 2 loads, their state duration essentially becomes 0, so they will process all of their movements and attacks within a single frame. Picture it like this: the Pinky freezes time, runs to the player, jumps him to death, and unfreezes time. If the super mega epic Turbo Pinky cannot reach the player, the game will freeze, as the Pinky states are all running in a single tick and the engine is unable to advance to the next game tick as long as the state duration is 0 ticks. When the player is reachable and killed, the Pinky changes its state to idle. This state is unaffected by Nightmare and has state durations that aren't 0, so the engine will process game ticks normally again. Most modern source ports fix this bug. Second mechanic, respawning. This is without a doubt the mechanic that causes the most stress, as it's completely unpredictable when an enemy will respawn. The logic behind respawning is fairly simple. Let's go through it step by step. When an entity has died and is on its final death sprite, it will start running a respawn check every game tick, which is every 1/35th of a second. First, it checks if this dead thing is flagged as something that counts as a kill. What does not count as a kill? Players, Lost Souls, Explosive Barrels, and Romero's Head. These will never respawn. Yes, even bosses like Spider Demons and Cyber Demons will respawn. Lost souls and barrels are
thought they
removed from the
didn't.
game when their death animation ends, so they leave no corpse behind at all. No corpse means no respawn check. There is a way to still create lost soul and barrel corpses though, and that is done through crushers. If a lost soul or barrel is destroyed through a crusher,
Oh yeah, I want to mention while I was playing map 4 Wormhole of TNT, I had my first ghost thing happen on accident. Like having a ghost demon is when a demon is crushed. Is like jibbed like that, like what you're seeing there with the soul there, but it gets resurrected. By an archvile. And it happened in map 4 when it's a place where normally you can't even have that. You don't even have crushers. You just have a lift and a door. And it resurrected it right then there. That was like my first time ever, and I legitimately could not believe it because I know it's like more common compared to other things, but it's still rare to happen. And I was like, okay, didn't expect that to happen. Because, again, it's not common, so it's quite rare. It's quite a rare thing to do. And I'm surprised compared to, considering that I have played like over hundreds of hours. At least over 100 hours. Because Steam says I have played over 100 hours. I don't know how many hours I've played in GC Doom though. But, yeah. Weird.
after the death animation fully elapses, it will leave behind a pile of flattened meat. Yeah, it's weird, I know. The flattened meat, however, does run the respawn logic, but stops here, since they still fail the kill counting condition. In Doom versions prior to Doom 2's release, however, Lost Souls did actually count as kills, so if they were turned into a pancake, they
Yeah, in GC Doom they do. GC Doom they do count as kills. I hate it. I hate it. But honestly, I really use the GC Doom because it's the easier. Well, I mean, yes, it is the easier to get, basically, and it's the one that has the most that has the things for more support. Oh, anyway, sorry.
are able to respawn. How horrible. Pain Elementals are similar. They too are removed from the game when dead, but they leave no corpse behind. However, when crushed by a crusher before the death animation elapses, it does leave a corpse behind in the form of crushed giblets. Now the Pain Elemental does have a corpse, which means it can respawn.
Oh no!
Chipped corpses will also respawn normally. Anyway, went a bit on a tangent there. The next condition we check is if the game's respawn monsters parameter is set. On Nightmare, this is always the case, but you can also enable respawning monsters outside Nightmare difficulty by launching the game with the dash respawn parameter. Here, the game increments the corpse move count variable. In this case, it will be used to track down how long the entity's been dead. If 12 seconds haven't elapsed yet, then don't try to respawn. Next condition. Is the game's timer a multiple of 32 game ticks? This timer increments every 1/35th of a second as long as the game is running. What this means is that a corpse will do a respawn check nearly every second. You can witness this when you nuke a large group of enemies.
Oh my god.
They will do a respawn check nearly every second. You can witness this when you nuke
Blah.
a large group of enemies. They will start respawning in a certain rhythm.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And the final
Thanks,
condition
Pipiordi.
is RNG in their favor. Or yours. If all previous conditions pass, then it will roll a random number between 0 and 255. Is this number less than or equal to 4? Then try respawning. In simpler terms, a corpse has around 2.6% chance of respawning per elapsed second. Logically, the longer a corpse has been rotting around, the odds of respawning successfully will accumulate. We can calculate how long it takes on average for a corpse to respawn. We can use a constant to represent the chance of respawning per
God.
second. With
Formulas.
this variable,
No,
we will assign
I do
the
not want to
chance
see
of a corpse
formulas.
having respawns after X time has passed.
I play
We
games,
can
do
try
not see
50%,
formulas.
which yields approximately 26. Don't
Math
forget
formulas.
enemies need to be dead for at least 12
Stop.
seconds before the respawn check is even done. So after around 38 seconds, there's a 50% chance the enemy has respawned. We can assume this is the average time required. If we enter 99%, we can assume the chances are extremely likely an enemy will respawn within 3 minutes. We can plot all of this into a nice
Woo!
graph to give you an idea how likely an enemy has respawned. 3 minutes. We can plot all of this into a nice graph to give you an idea how likely an enemy has respawned after a period of time has passed. In theory, a corpse may never respawn, of course. It's all about chance after all. So we've passed
Wow.
all the conditions. Time to
For
respawn.
30 minutes, it's still not
right?
respawn.
Not yet. There's one more check. When an enemy respawns, it will respawn at its original position, the position when the map started.
Heh. Oh.
If this position is occupied by the player or another summon entity, the respawn is denied and it will try the entire respawn check again. A respawning enemy will not telefrag you or other demons. Not even on map 30. If nothing is occupying the enemy's original spawn point, then do the following. Spawn 2 teleport fogs, one at the corpse and one at the enemy's original spawn point. The corpse's attributes such as type, original spawn point angle and ambush flags are all copied over to a new enemy, which is then spawned. The old enemy, so the corpse, is removed. A reaction time of 18 is set to ensure the enemy doesn't immediately attack you when they've respawned. Melee attacks are excluded though, as those don't care about the reaction time. The reaction time decreases every time the enemy moves. When the enemy is hurt, the reaction time immediately drops to 0, even if no pain state is caused. When it reaches 0, it will be able to do a ranged attack. If the sector they respawn in has no sound target set, then the enemy will remain asleep. If they are set to ambush and no players around, they will also remain asleep. If a sound target exists and the enemy is not set to ambush, they will immediately start roaming around when they respawn. Enemies spawned by the Icon of Sin don't have any spawn points set, so the spawn point defaults to X0, Y0. In Doom 2's case, the enemies will respawn somewhere out of bounds. Third and final mechanic, double ammo. This is to compensate for the extra firepower required to deal with the respawning enemies. Nothing complicated, every ammo pickup will yield twice the ammo, backpack included. Those energy cell packs look extra delicious on Nightmare. 200 cells per pickup, yum yum yum. There's a slight oversight however. Picking up shells shows a pickup message where it says you picked up 4 shells, but in reality it's 8. Same with rockets. You picked up a rocket, well no, actually it's 2. There are some Nightmare only map sets that fix this however. But then it gets screwy when you choose a difficulty that does not have double ammo. Nightmare needs more love. Its joke status did more harm than good, and it's time to end the stigma. The first 2 Doom games on Nightmare are surprisingly balanced. Yes, it will be challenging. Some maps will definitely kick your ass. Learn the map, create an efficient route, memorize the locations of medikits and armor. Hell, even stimpaks will brighten your day on Nightmare. Respawning enemies may sound stressful, but double ammo helps a lot dealing with them. Often you can benefit from the double ammo without spending it on respawning demons at all if you make haste. Not all maps are about backtracking after all. Besides, if an enemy respawns nearby, they have a cooldown before they're able to attack. Watch those melee attacks though. Combat is viable. Just because they'll respawn doesn't mean you can stall them or break through them. To prevent tankier demons from respawning to full health, you can also damage them to near death from a distance and kill them with ease once you have to get past them. Nightmare is fast-paced, requires quick thinking and reflexes, and will rejuvenate your ultimate Doom and Doom 2 experience if you're sick and bored of ultraviolence. To up the challenge, you can also go for 100% secrets, or if you really hate yourself, you can go for 100% kills, secrets, and items. This will maximize the amount of exploration and backtracking, truly bringing out that survival instinct. For kills, you don't have to kill every single enemy once. Killing respawned enemies to get 100% plus kills is allowed too. Now, I'm not saying you should try custom map sets on Nightmare from now on. Most maps will obviously not be balanced around it, but the more modest WODs like the base games are playable and offer a fun challenge. The WOD that made me love Nightmare difficulty is not even remotely fair, which, despite the name, is a map set built exclusively for Nightmare that relies on Nightmare difficulty mechanics, which offers a fun and fair challenge through unique looking levels with custom music, textures, and lots of fire blue. I've made a couple of maps and music for it too, so don't mind the self-plug. As of making this video, we are working hard on its 3rd and final episode, so stay tuned for that one. The first 2 episodes are fully playable, there will be a download link in the description. Can we make 2023 the year Doom Sniper difficulty gets some love?
Huh. Look at that. No, there are a lot of people that are going for stuff on Nightmare, jeez.
After nearly 30 years, I think it's time. Thanks for watching everyone. I would like to give a special thanks to Peter for convincing me Nightmare is fun as hell, and John Romero for the Nightmare difficulty origin story. I would also like to thank my patrons and YouTube members, and the following Turbo Nerds. 19 Days.
Wow. Jeez. My god. Seriously, it just started for like one person just calling themselves agonizing rectal pain, and now someone else calling themselves agonizing oral pain, and someone else calling themselves agonizing ophthalmologic pain. Ophthalmologic pain. Jeez. Do you see how connected this community is? When you name something, and a lot of people want to go like, ah, that's funny. I'm gonna go and tell that too. Now, here's the real video I wanted to watch. Real video I wanted to watch today. Matt Payne. Matt Payne's back after over a month. Whoops.
Hello there, I'm Mount Payne 27, and this is Dean of Doom, the show we give grades to classic and contemporary Doom wads. Why? Because ranking things is fun. Today's episode will be a Doom Kid double feature dedicated to Ray Mohawk's Manic Monday and Ray Mohawk 2, Ray Wreaks Havoc. Environmentally conscious lad that he is, Doom Kid recycled the format he patented with the Rowdy Rudy duology, designing the entirety of Ray 1 himself and exploiting the community for the sequel in the hopes of nabbing another CAC award for himself. We're on to you, Doom Kid. Considerably humbler and more relaxed than the first Rowdy Rudy, 2019's Manic Monday is a 6-map weekend vacation inspired by DK's love of 90s maps and the Australian seaside. The world was not ready when Ray Mohawk 2 hit Doom World shelves in 2021. Allegedly spurred on by comments made on this very show, Doom Kid locked
Correction, was something I said on the Doom World Megawad Club thread for Rowdy Rudy. Oh.
himself in his D-hacked laboratory and cooked up one of the most stupidly overpowered arsenals in vanilla Doom history for Ray to wreak havoc with. Ray's sequel preserves the original's easygoing vibe while cranking up the carnage to levels previously unseen in Doom Kid's body of work. Grab your surfboards and your bongs, folks. We're going on a ride. So here's how the show works. Every map gets 1 grade for quality and 1 for difficulty. Quality grades go from A to F. Grade A levels are fun, memorable, visually distinctive, creative, and a fair challenge. We grade difficulty from X to E. X for extreme, E for easy, A through D in between.
Right now I'm here. Right now I am here. That is the max I've managed to do. My next challenge is gonna be this. Oh well, or Hell Revealed. Sorry.
Keep in mind, all jokes made at Doom Kid's expense are allowed because he's my friend, and my idea of a great map is probably not the same as yours, but that's okay. Disagreeing is part of the fun, after all. At the end of the day, this show is about spreading the joy of Doom. So let's do so. Before we start, the rules are we play on ultra-violence, or in this case, seeking validation, and must pistol start each level. I need to play the WAD twice before viewing it, saves are allowed, and we go for 100% kills in all levels, making exceptions when it's just not worth it. I play on Z-Doom, and both of today's WADs are vanilla compatible. Now, to the WADs.
Damn!
Map 1, House by the Bay. This beachside
vibes.
rumble is the perfect opener for a coffee break WAD. House by the Bay's high body count, wide open layout, and cheerful CCR tune welcome the player with open
Compared
arms.
strictly
Doom Kid's
Water Revival.
high body count, wide open layout, and cheerful CCR tune welcome the player with open arms. Doom Kid's trademark custom assets make their presence known from the first. Ray's bedroom walls are plastered with posters of his favorite rock and rollers, bottom shelf spirits and palm trees decorate the town, and the bestiary gets a tropical tune-up. The hired guns reskins add a nice splash of something different, but the imps in leis and hula skirts are probably my favorite Doom monster sprite replacement of all time. Ray's Alpha Doom rifle has perfect accuracy and a higher rate of fire than the Beretta, and his knife attack is totally bonkers. A quintuple damage fist with super speed. The corny sound effect makes it even better. Get your hands on a shotgun and chain gun and you'll buzz through this map in no time. Stave off that hangover with Hair of the Dog and exit through the ominous looking marble castle. Oh yeah, and this intermission can't be beat. Grade A. Dog and exit through the ominous looking marble castle. Oh yeah, and this intermission can't be beat. Grade A-, difficulty D-. Map 2, The Bridge. Not to be confused with Memento Mori's Map 2, The Bridge has a knee-deep in the beach thing going on, blending E1 assets and seaside accoutrements. Do I think it's sexy? Not exactly, but I do dig the nod to E1M4 and the rugged exterior with a river carving through it. Once you've cleared out the base, get ready for armed resistance on the other side of the bridge. Doomkid is hit scan happy by default, so don't let these drooling mutant backstabbers get the drop on you. The bridge is probably the least memorable map we'll play this Manic Monday. Grade B-, difficulty D-. Map 3, We Love Pollution. UAC headquarters didn't fare much better than Ray's hometown, it seems. These corporate thugs turned into even bigger and meaner flesh eaters than his neighbors did. We Love Pollution gets much more heated than maps 1 and 2, especially in this burnt-out, nukage-scarred backyard, but it's a tad overscaled, and the texturing is a bit primitive, even for a vanilla map. I love you, Doomkid, but too much Startan is too much Startan. When Pollution's groovy MIDI works in concert with its pitched action, it's a hit, but there's too much dead air in between. Grade C+, difficulty D+. Footnote, I just realized that this is the only Doomkid WOD I've played where the Cacodemons don't shoot Hell Knight fireballs. Map 4, Little Oasis. Sharp-edged but enjoyable, Little Oasis is most notable for its use of the classic royalty-free 80s tune Strut Like King Tut and this friendly Archvile NPC at the start. He only becomes a threat if you decide not to whittle him down before pressing this button in the canal. I think the big brain move would have been to knife him, but hindsight is 20/20. Little Oasis is short on health and ammo, so you'll have to use infighting and aim carefully even after gulping down the Bombay Djinn Sphere. This hallway full of imps, pinkies, revenants, and mercenaries is especially treacherous if you don't wait for the goons in the water to cut each other down. Once again, Doomkid's aesthetics are simple but effective, and I appreciate the gear change combat-wise. Grade B, difficulty C-. Map 5, Big Room Full of Baddies. Big Room Full of Baddies has all the swagger and assurance of the beat laid down by the brothers Doobie. Once again, the set decoration worships John Romero.
Oh! I just recognized the song. It's China Grove. I thought it sounded like it. But when he mentioned the Doobie Brothers, now I knew it was. Hang on, I want to hear it properly.
Map 5, Big Room Full of Baddies. Big Room Full of Baddies has all the swagger and assurance of the beat laid down by the brothers Doobie. Once again, the set decoration worships John Romero, but the gameplay is pure Doomkid. This place is crawling with gun-toting freaks and punctuated with vicious ambushes. Thankfully, you're given a super shotty and plasma rifle to compensate for the increased amperage. It's cathartic to finally tee off on Hellspawn with heavy artillery. Now, I've ribbed Doomkid in private many a time for his compulsion to teleport monsters behind you whenever you open a door, but 5 chain gunners at once? Come on, man. Save your seats for Big Room's bracing finale, a swath of shotgunners, Macubi, Hell Knights, and Revenants led by an Archvile. Good map, good MIDI. Grade B, difficulty C. Map 6, The Maw of Industry. You have entered deeply into the pollution factory, but something is wrong. Well, a few things, actually. For starters, Ray Mohawk's Manic Monday bills itself as 6 beach-themed maps of fun and sun, so why does it culminate in this hunk of hell factory? There's not much fun, sun, or sand to be found in The Maw of Industry. It's conspicuously nastier than the rest of the set, loaded with gobs of Archviles, Revenants, and hit scanners. Missing the secret plasma SSG and blue armor behind the entrance door will significantly handicap newcomers and forgetful deans. Doomkid's addiction to teleport behind you traps reaches stage 4 here, but it's still not as advanced as Ray's alcoholism. By the time you penetrate the fortress, withdrawal will have made him ornery enough to shank a Revenant for a bottle of rum. The Maw of Industry's most prominent misstep is its final fight, a quadruple cyber demon circuit that you can run past or humiliate with an invuln, depending on whether or not you feel like getting all the kills. I used to think this finale was a cheap and rather brutish conclusion to an otherwise laid-back WOD, but it's more misunderstood than misexecuted. Sure, the transition to hell is jarring, but there's something really funny about ending a Doom WOD by throwing a hungover beach bum into Satan's mouth and rolling the credits to curb your enthusiasm. Grade C+, difficulty B. So, I imagine Ray Mohawk's Manic Monday was even more fun to make than it was to play. These 6 maps showcase Doomkid in his element. They're spacious, relaxed, exciting, and set to a killer EP of midis. Ray doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's perfect for unwinding with an hour of Doom whether or not you're seeking validation. My final grade for Ray Mohawk's Manic Monday is a B. Difficulty-wise, it's a pushover, especially if you're going in with foreknowledge, so we'll give it a D+. No Dean's List for this one since it's so short,
SPF
but we'll
15.
merge its honor roll inductees
Okay.
with Ray 2s if it earns one. Speaking of which, Ray Mohawk 2 picks up a year after the original, with the world more or less in shambles. Under the tutelage of off-screen bigwig General Kawasaki, Ray Mohawk has become a bona fide super soldier, leading the offensive against the nukage-twisted mutants. Ray's final mission is to purge his old hometown, the epicenter of the nukage outbreak. It was personal last time round, but now it's even more personal. Before we get to avenging Ray's zombified friends and family, let's take a quick voyage to Demo Island. Doomkid marketed his Ray Mohawk 2 community project with the promise of an absurdly powerful arsenal. Allow me to show you what that looks like. First off, we have the most powerful pistol I've ever seen. It's a thing of beauty.
Wow.
Essentially a semi-automatic shotgun in the palm of your hand. The standard pump action, stolen from Duke Nukem 3D, is almost identical to Rowdy Rudy 2's Super Shotty. It eats 2 shells at a time, but it's fearsome in the hands of a well-liquored special ops surfer dude. The auto shotgun is even more ridiculous, blasting 20 pellets a pop at a high rate of fire. The only thing it eats faster than shells is demon flesh. I'm real sorry, Valiant Super Chain Gun, but I
It's almost. Also, sorry, Doomkid. I love this chain gun. I really do, but nothing's ever going to be Valiant Super Chain Gun. If anything ever does, I'll eat my shoe.
only thing it eats faster than shells is demon flesh. I'm real sorry, Valiant Super Chain Gun, but I've got a new best friend, and it's called the Blaster. This son of a bitch cranks out heavy caliber rounds at 3 times the speed of the pistol and auto stun locks even archviles. It's a goddamn Spartan of a gun. Doomkid jerry-rigged the rocket launcher into a souped-up cell cannon with a ludicrous capacity of 400 rounds and replaced the Paul Samick vinaigrette rifle with a flamethrower that beats the one from Heartland because you can fire it point blank without getting hurt. Realism be damned. This is Doom, man. Finally, we come to the BFG 9002.
It doesn't. I don't know, that's so funny to me. 9002.
Yeah, enough said. Footnote, not that he has to be with those guns, but Ray's still a surgeon with a knife, and these zappy heretic gauntlets replace the chainsaw, but you won't see me use them much. What could possibly stand up to such an outlandish set of weapons? Let's boot this sucker up and find out. Map 1, Back Ashore. My favorite opening map in any Doomkid WOD, Back Ashore is effervescent and explosive. Running up and down this beachhead, slaughtering hula imps, pinkies, cacodemons, barons, and beach bums with a f***ing pistol while Frank Zappa bops in the background is an unabashedly joyful experience. Players would do well to remember that Ray is still a fragile little Doom guy. No amount of training can make a man bulletproof or fire resistant. The first few maps of this WOD will make you feel like a juggernaut, but the opposition will rise up to meet your godly firepower. If you get ripped to pieces a few times on the road to validation, don't sweat it. Ray Mohawk 2 takes some getting used to. Back Ashore has an unusually strong grasp on what makes a good opener. It draws you in with sunshiny vibes, teaches the player the power of Ray's new weapons, and sets the mood for the entire Megawad. The next 21 maps practically rally behind it. It also reintroduces Doomkid's signature Cacodemon +1 and debuts the Slyers, which are slinking goblin pyromaniacs that take a beating before squawking their last. Also worth pointing out, shell boxes are comically fat because they hold 30 shells now. It's hard not to fall in love with this map. Back Ashore packs more cheer into 10 minutes than Ray Mohawk 1 did in 6 levels, and that's saying something. Grade A, difficulty C-. Map 2, Ossuary of the Hula Imps. 5 words I'm willing to bet no one before Midnight Mage strung together. If Back Ashore was a shooting gallery for your super sidearm, Ossuary of the Hula Imps is a playground for your berserk knife. When you're roided up, this thing is disgusting. I'm talking automatic one-hit kills on everything weaker than a Revenant, with strong odds of 2-hitting everything from Barons on down. If you told me a year ago that I'd find a WOD where killing archviles with a knife and pistol is not only doable but encouraged, I would have laughed in your face.
Wow.
Midnight Mage's rich lighting and
Jesus.
comfy sun-drenched scenery make a fetching backdrop for slaughtering hula imps and Duke Nukem knockoffs. Excellent stuff. Grade B+, difficulty D+. Map 3, Beachside Bookworms. It took me till playthrough 4, but I've finally figured out how to start this map off right. Through the pair of doors straight ahead is the first cell cannon of the Megawad, so make a beeline for it, sling blue death at some of the baddies outside, hoof it for the teleporter, and pummel the archvile with your remaining charges. Consider this Doomkid's latest lesson in havoc wreaking. Tentative play will only whittle down your health and kill the vibe. Beachside Bookworms is every bit as colorful as the opener, though I will say the interior fights don't run and gun so well. On the bright side, I discovered that the Heretic Gauntlets are actually useful in a pinch. I wouldn't test them against a lot of enemies at once, but they'll fry almost any single enemy you can latch onto. With all 3 keys, you can liquefy the Exit Guardians and blow this popsicle stand. Grade B+, difficulty C-. Map 4, Surfs Up in Nuketown. Cheese Wheel knocks it out of the park with this rip-roaring sandbox map. What? That's what it is! Doomkid's teammates
Sorry, what?
this rip-roaring sandbox map. Surfs Up in Nuketown. Cheese Wheel knocks it out of the park with this rip-roaring sandbox map.
Oh, sand. Ah.
What? That's what it is. Doomkid's teammates always seem to intuitively pick up the vibe of his community projects, but Cheese Wheel has an almost uncanny understanding of what Ray Mohawk is all about. The flocks of foes, constant movement, and ramshackle coastal venues spritzed with cutesy realism all remind me of Doomkid's best work. Nuketown is all about the cell cannon. At this point, players should start to realize just how insane this thing's capacity is, and they may have to learn the hard way that little blue diamonds now have all the properties of regular rockets. This is also the point in my Ray Mohawk 2 playthrough where I have to remind my left hand that the cell cannon is mapped to the 5 key, not 6. Make sure you hang on to some cells with the red and blue key traps. The Hell Knight and Revenant round is especially frenetic. With all keys in hand, you can grab a board and ride a wave on out of town. Grade A-, difficulty C. Map 5, 11 Holidays, Silver Miner. That name looks familiar.
How's it going, everybody? This is Doomkid. Today I'm just here to play Plutonia 3. Author, Silver Miner.
That's what he looks like. I like that Slayer poster in the background and that Worf poster as well.
Today I'm just here to play Plutonia 3. Author, Silver Miner.
Oh.
God, this is so... It's not terrible, but this is so mediocre.
It's good to see that there's no bad blood between the author of Plutonia 3 and the guy who helped make it a Doom meme. 11 Holidays vastly improves upon Silver Miner's juvenilia. His chiseled oceanside quarry looks sharp for vanilla, and these tunnels are the perfect environment to showcase the auto shotgun. The ASG is a bit of an acquired taste, since taking your finger off the trigger forces a long pause to reload, but its stopping power is undeniable. 11 Holidays is the shortest map in the Megawad, but it's roundly satisfying and fun to replay. Grade B, difficulty C+. Map 6, Hidden Ship in Pirates Cove. A real showstopper from the veteran Übergewehr. Hidden Ship in Pirates Cove is a great...
Übergewehr? German? Because that, from what I know, German, I think, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but German is pretty much the only language that I know. German is the only language that I know that, sorry, I'm repeating too much. I know of that for the W is pronounced as a V.
Adventure that winds its way through demon-infested inlets, sea caves, and ancient ruins. It's the longest level yet by a mile. Even with a shiny new blaster in your paws, cutting down 400 demons is no small errand. Joining the cast is the bleached blue cyber demon, who will prove a fearful adversary. This tuned-up tower of terror now launches 2 volleys of rockets in triplets. The upside is you can demolish him in seconds with concentrated blaster fire.
Oh.
I love this gun. Maybe it's the hyperactive music, but Pirates Cove seems to want for more rapid pacing. The temple scenes are eye-catching, but unfold sluggishly, and never let me perpetrate the kind of mass murder that 200 cells in my pack make me want to. On the plus side, Übergewehr must have worked some high-level sorcery to avoid Vizplane overflows. Who needs treasure when you've got a vessel this beautiful? All in all, Pirates Cove is slightly ungainly to play, but the location rules. Grade A-, difficulty B-. Map 7, Warehouse. No. B-. Map 7, Warehouse. No such thing as a bad pun on this show, folks. Surprisingly enough, this half-sunken city
Because I've always said Warrior House.
Jab is the easiest map in the set. The opposition, mostly composed of pinkies, imps, and posers with pistols, will die whimpering before the onslaught of your ASG. A few Archviles will try to get the limbo going again shortly after you raise the elevator to the red key, but as you've already seen, Archviles ain't what they used to be in this Megawad. I like this map's rugged texturing, and Walter Confalinieri makes strong use of vertical space, but the backtracking near the end brings the action to a standstill. Grade B-, difficulty D. Map 8, Chocolate Island. Chocolate Island chafes against Ray Mohawk 2's inclination towards relaxation. Egg Boy's monster placement hits you where it hurts. Mancubi, Revenants, and Slyers will grind you down from their perches while herds of imps and Hell Knights try to block you en route to a weapon. Berserk is a blessing here because it lets you poke stuff to death rather than burn blaster ammo. You'll want to save that. I accidentally ignored the cell cannon until late in this playthrough, so don't be put off by how difficult I'm making this look. Chocolate Island is tough, but not vicious. Until the ending. I'm really not a fan of this Christmas bullfight. The blaster outperforms the auto shotty, and the Archvile intrusion is kind of mean.
I just have to mention, I see your name everywhere. Every single Doomer I watch, I see your name. I'm just saying in a good way, because it really shows how much you love Doom, and I totally respect that. So, can I just say how it fills my heart to see that you're here, considering that you're pretty much everywhere. So, hey, Francis. Hey, Francis T218. Because I've heard your name everywhere by now. Hi.
Chocolate Island isn't a bad map, but its lack of chill makes it feel unfitting for Ray. Grade C+, difficulty B. Map 9, Temple del Sol. This mid-megawatt mustachio magnum opus goes big in every category and empties my gas tank. It's got the 3rd highest monster count.
So I'm trying to get into the games it's like, dude, like Sonic and Mega Man. That's perfectly fine. That's totally fine, you know? Like, expand your taste. That's how I did. That's how I managed to get to Doom to the first place, because I expanded my taste. Based on Doom, starting from Doom, I went to Half-Life and Quake. Well, more Half-Life, but still, you get the point. I love how this couple of Temple del Sol, and you hear Casa del Sol playing in the background.
Mohawk 2, 10 secrets, epic acreage, and a stunning 573 bottles of booze, almost enough for John Bonham's breakfast. With all due respect to Mustachio's grand vision, his map is hard work to get through. It's just huge room after huge room full of monsters.
I mentioned it earlier, but if it wasn't for the fact that everything was dying, you would have heard it. And I heard that it was Casa del Sol playing in the background.
Secrets you'll probably blunder into by accident. This secluded sailboat beach is the only worthwhile optional area that I found. Mustachio doles out invulnerabilities for all the scary looking fights, and I can't tell if he threw in the towel on balancing them or if he just wanted to make shit explode with no consequences. Either way, I think the trick gets old by the final room, which doesn't give you quite enough God mode to tackle Platinum Saib, 4 Archviles, and the rest of the Hoi Polloi in one go. I think Temple del Sol could have used some quality over quantity control, but I can see more patient players really enjoying this one. Grade C+, difficulty B. Map 10, Kalua Atoll, in which Ray Mohawk gets his money's worth out of those shades. Kalua Atoll takes its name from the Hawaiian verb to cook in an oven, and essentially exists to show off the devastating power of Ray's Weapon 6, the flamethrower. It's more or less a short-range plasma rifle that does triple damage and has its own dedicated ammo supply. It does have the side effect of partially blinding the user, especially when used point blank, and it eats ammunition like a son of a bitch. Kalua Atoll is a mostly enjoyable Demon Hibachi show, but the invisible barriers between buoys and lack of explorable terrain make the map a bit of a cattle chute too. DFF makes the secret invuln at the end so obvious that he practically hands it to you, which I suppose is a good thing because the final fight is considerably sweatier than the 2 rounds of barbecuing that precede it. Grade B, difficulty B-. Map 11, Vacation Gone Wrong. This map's emphasis on pistol and shotgun combat leads me to believe Hit-Boy was aiming for an earlier slot, but that plan backfired, because Vacation Gone Wrong turned out fairly tough. It's ungenerous with health and ammo, and your limited firepower significantly reduces the demon's handicap. Vacation Gone Wrong is oddly disjointed, essentially 4 loosely related chunks of line depths stitched together by teleporter. The progression may be stilted, but it does set up this out-of-the-black encounter with a huge, hungry beast. Somebody spiked Ray's rum. It's fortunate that Vacation works as a transition map, because it wouldn't really have a calling card otherwise. Grade C+, difficulty B. Before we proceed to Ray's second half, let's take a detour to cover its 2 bonus maps. Starting with Map 21, Trippy Entryway in the Sky? The hardest part of Ray Mohawk 2's secret maps is getting them to run, since they come in a
Listen to the song!
in the sky? The hardest part of Ray Mohawk 2's secret maps is getting them to run. Since they come in a separate WAD file, it can be tricky getting your port to load the secret map 21 on top of Ray's credits map. It probably would have been simpler to just make the secret map start at 22, but what do I know? Trippy Entryway in the Sky pretty much sums this one up. Phil Nemba leans heavily on Slyors and doesn't give out a ton of health, but thankfully his hardest fight is optional. Use your Doom 2 knowledge to open the courtyard with the rocket launcher and prepare for a Revenant Cyber Demon 1-2 punch. This MIDI fits like a glove. It's a strange mix of melancholic and happy-go-lucky, which is the same effect you get when you mix a hellish entryway with hula imps. Ooh, I'm tempted to offer a punny alternate title. Doom Guy's not gonna like it, but phooey on him. Entry Ray. Yes? No? Okay, never mind. Grade C+, difficulty C+. Map 22, The Man with the Mohawk. Grandiose and uneven, The Man with the Mohawk boasts the highest monster count in the megawatt and plays like a self-contained adventure within the Mohawk universe. Even if it didn't exceed vanilla parameters, it would have been a good idea to place this one outside of the regular map order. Picata Mizamiz takes the player on a long tour through beaches, forgotten temples, mine shafts, science labs, tiki bars, aircraft hangars, caverns, admin offices, and bathrooms. The Man with the Mohawk is a kitchen sync map with no awareness of its excess. I appreciate Picato's Doom cute details like this stick man being split with a laser beam and this tucked in teddy bear, but seeing them in the same map is more than a little jarring. Not to mention, these granular details stick out like a sore thumb next to the rest of the map. Picatum's fights are generally bloated, but a few of them are flat out bad. This hit scanner ambush on the way out of the red key wing is really easy to exploit, and the final showdown is incredibly frustrating. The challenge here derives solely from the swarm of Cacos and Lost Souls creating invisible, impassable barriers around you while you dodge 4 converging super cyber demons. At the end of an already cumbersome map, it feels like a kick in the gut. Having played some of his newer maps, I know Picata Mizimiz has great potential, but he's still ironing out the kinks here. Grade C, difficulty A-. Map 12, Beautiful Clean Coal. If you listen closely, you can hear Doom Kid cracking his knuckles over the ominous opening notes of Zed Leppelin's copyright-free classic, No Nickel. Allow me to re-up on the warning I issued in Map 1. Ray Mohawk is still a fragile little Doom guy, and by this point the demons have had enough of being kicked around. This is by far the hardest map in the Megawads so far, and possibly the toughest Doom Kid map I've played. DK brings the heat right from the get-go. Fistfuls of hit scan, double scoops of Cacos, Barons, and virtually every Doom 2 monster, including 15 Archviles, and marauding bleached blue cybers will dogpile and backstab you at every turn. Son of a bitch, again with that! Beautiful Clean Coal's twilight atmosphere and ravaged industrial visuals are some of the best I've ever seen from the kid. This pitch-dark, hell-twisted mine is downright intimidating. With the red key in hand, ride this lift up for an invuln, which sets up one of the bloodiest rampages in the WoD so far. First BFG 9002 of the mainline progression unfortunately appears too late to see any substantial action, but it's no matter. We've already kicked enough ass to fill 2 levels. Grade A, difficulty A. Map 13, Terrorist Estate of Terror. This relaxing beachside bash is one of the most wide-open maps in the set. Gokuma puts up precious few block lines in the bay, permitting the player to clear out this entire pier whenever they want to. The only major threat on this map is the Cyber Triumvirate atop the terraces. Only after 3 playthroughs did I finally discover that the intended way to take them out is to simply serve them a triple shot of death at the bar. The BFG's presence is likely the only reason this map was placed so late. Still, it's a pleasant breather aided by a dreamy Kinks tune. Grade B-, difficulty C+. Map 14, Lose Yourself to Dance. A sort of theme park.
Oh, is that gonna be the Daft Punk song, Use Yourself to Dance? With their falsettos that I don't like. They're made wrong. The falsettos. Falsettos is like a type of voice, like a type of voices you use for your throat. Just like the inside voice, the head voice, and falsettos.
Resort from Hell. Lose Yourself to Dance had a low rating on TripAdvisor, but I pulled the trigger anyway because I couldn't find a better price. I wouldn't say this is a hard map, but it's definitely frustrating. The drably drawn boat ride is repetitive, choking on Archviles and capped off with a needless pitch-dark corridor full of specters. The platforming sections are tedious and 100% unnecessary, and this Cyber Demon fight? Dear God. This room made me quit one of Ray Mohawk's beta versions outright. The Cyb's sweeping firing pattern makes it damn near impossible to avoid eating blue when they're all shooting at once. I only succeeded here because one of them spent the whole fight diddling himself. In Sluggard's defense, the Bleached Cyber's new attack is partially to blame, but making the player fight 4 of them at once over a poison pit with no cover is a bit too much. Suffice to say, I'd rather lose myself to something else. Grade D, difficulty B+. Map 15, Crowded House. I'll tell you what, a kill count over 800 this late in a WoD like Ray Mohawk 2 is a hard sell, but Need Health got me to sign on the line which is dotted. Crowded House chains together a super combo of delicious fights to a brownstone island complex. It's balanced beautifully for the blaster and auto shotty, letting you revel in their raw power without letting you get too cocky. True to its name, Crowded House is one of the densest maps in the set. Even the big throwdown in the waterlogged caldera will have you elbowing past Lost Souls, Revenants, Mancubi, and Scuba Dudes. Crowded House's visuals are a bit utilitarian for my liking, but its MIDI pulls more than its weight in the way of atmosphere. Doomkid apparently picked it out when Need Health submitted his map with no custom MIDI, and boy was that lucky. REM's midified, shiny happy copyright infringement is the latest addition to the list of great tunes Doom has introduced me to.
Wow.
Hats off to Need Health for putting on a slaughter-like clinic. Grade A, difficulty B+. Map 16, Peer Pressure. Peer Pressure is chaotic, overwhelming, and an excellent pun. Set in a once quiet town and its adjacent lighthouse island, Peer Pressure ladles on the big boys like they're going out of style. The body count is half that of Crowded House, but the total health pool is probably higher. We're talking 100 skinny surfers, 50 fat boogie boarders, 17 lifeguards, and 12 big bosses. Noisers is a brand of combat that never gives you a moment's rest. He loves to surround the player with arachnotrons and walls of Macubus mortar teams while Cacos and Revenant missiles chase you around town. Candidly, I had a hard time warming up to this map. I know I'm seeking validation, but I don't appreciate being repeatedly kicked in the coconuts on my vacation. One fight stands above the rest in terms of rudeness. This double cyber battle force feeds you a blur sphere before initiating a very lethal bullet hell game. Not cool. You know what is cool though? Getting to blow up a boat.
No.
With a BFG and secret invuln, you can mostly wrangle the hubbub at the end, but Noiser doesn't hand it to you on a silver platter. Stay frosty, Marine. It's not gonna get easier from here. Grade B+, difficulty A. Map 17, Poster Boy of Mayhem. Well, this is excessive. Thus far, Raymo
The meat is perfect.
here. Grade B+, difficulty A. Map 17, Poster Boy of Mayhem. Well, this is excessive. Thus far, Ray Mohawk 2 has been remarkably even-keeled for a community project, but mappers are never without their own personalities, and boy does this map have personality. Poster Boy would probably be the first map I'd vote off the island when push comes to shove, not because it's bad, but because it's so optimized. I was hinting at this earlier, but technical teeth-gritting combat and hula imps don't make a good pair. Poster Boy puts you on a short leash with ammo, stages every fight in tight quarters, zings you with cheap traps, and belabors the point with Archviles. I can tolerate the Mario MIDI for about 2 minutes before it starts to drive me insane, and while I can sort of understand the motive behind its use, I think it alienates a struggling player more than it humors a good one. The two fights I really can't stand are both set in this room, blasting 4 Archviles and a
he changed the
chain
music.
mob with a quickly dwindling
Because, like I said, he just gets tired of it.
bullet belt is not my idea of fun, and I won't say finding the god of guitar super secret is required, but the final fight will be your least pleasant experience with Ray 2 if you don't. Or maybe you'd like to fight 4 cyber demons and 8 vials with a flamethrower in a cornflakes box. Poster Boy of Mayhem's rigidity and brutality are beyond the pale for this wad. You gotta know your audience. Grade C, difficulty A+. Map 18, Mallrats. The only thing hotter than this map's summer sales event is the arcing blaze of Ray's motherfucking flamethrower. Mallrats goes from 0 to all-out war faster than you can say ouch face, so check the second loading bay for a secret switch, dig an invuln out of the truck, and tear a path through the demon-choked outlets before time runs out. Nimble traversal of the circuit and aggressive paranoia will serve you well against the Flashville ambushes, flanking Archviles, and Cyber Monday shoppers. That joke doesn't make any sense. Mallrats is a real
What did you say? Sorry.
Reversal of the circuit and aggressive paranoia will serve you well against the Flashville ambushes, flanking Archviles, and Cyber Monday shoppers. That joke doesn't make any sense. Mallrats is a
Cyber
real,
Monday
I can't
shoppers.
believe it's
Oh,
not
okay.
limit removing
Cyber
moment. DFF slathers the environment with fun Doom-Q decorations like benches, plants, shop fronts, desktop computers, cash registers, and a fountain. More than any other mapper in the project, he succeeds at marrying functionality with aesthetic excellence, and it helps that his choice of setting fills a niche in the beachside theme of the WAD. If you don't jump into it with both feet, the finale in the warehouse might grind your gears a bit. I just let all the monsters out at once, corral the cybers in the center, and potshot them with a flamethrower. No guts, no glory. Mallrats is one of Ray 2's standouts, and a home run for DFF. Grade A, difficulty A. Map 19, Arch Violent. One of the most notorious maps on Megawad for good reason, Arch Violent pegs the meter on craziness, and it totally earns its Lee Jackson tune by virtue of its hell-revealed-worthy excesses, but it's one of my favorite maps in the set, and I think its difficulty tends to be overstated. No map teaches you the power of the BFG 9002 like Arch Violent. As soon as you manage to luau your way out of the standing room-only storage room, pounce on that sucker and get to work. Be advised that as soon as you step outside, RJDRD cuts a flock of bleached cyber demons loose. Make no mistake, these are your your highest priority targets. Their crisscrossing barrages of plasmified beach volleyballs can melt you instantly. I fear small stings of archviles more than the stampedes in this map, because the latter are highly telegraphed and will only pose a threat to the BFG list. Despite its relative harmlessness, this orgiastic archvile outbreak is one of Ray Mohawk 2's most euphoric moments. This is exactly the kind of lunacy I signed up for when I downloaded this WAD. Grade A, difficulty A-. Map 20, Ray of Hope. Let's get the negatives out of the way so we can end this episode on a high note. Ray of Hope has some of the most inconsistent combat in the Megawad, careening from patty cake to patty caked in blood with little to no warning. On one hand, Sypek's invuln usage feels overly conciliatory, but on the other, his cyber placements are hellacious, and I've never quite gotten the hang of the icon fight on the rooftop. In all other ways, though, Ray of Hope is a dead-on perfect ending to the Ray Mohawk saga, a laid-back shoot-'em-up with personality and humor to spare. Sypek's rec center setting is full of doom-adorable details, including a working slot machine, volleyball and basketball courts, and a TV with an animated ticker tape. Ray of Hope also deviates from the generic icon of sin ending, with Sypek given the old demon-spitting wall texture a facelift and a skinny body that you can dive headlong into. Shoot through his innards and exit through the back door, and your mission is complete. Whether Sypek knows it or not, he was one of Doom Kid's earliest fans, and his encouragement helped to sustain DK through many years of lukewarm and cynical reception. I think we're all very glad that he persevered. Grade A-, difficulty A-. So, Doom Kid and his merry band captured an unprecedented level of cheer in Ray Mohawk 2, and I can hardly believe how well it coalesces for being a community project. The gameplay changes take some acclimating to, but as my friend Doom Kid likes to say, sometimes a thing has gotta be just a little bit ugly for it to be truly beautiful. With a lineup of perfect maps, unlimited detailing, and fewer chain gunners teleporting behind you, Ray Mohawk 2 just wouldn't be as good. As of now, this is my favorite of Doom Kid's projects, but I hope another hero with attitude replaces Ray someday, if only because it'll mean Doom Kid's still going. My final grade for Ray Mohawk 2, Ray Wreaks Havoc, is an A. This is a bit of a weird one on the difficulty scale because of how much the gameplay departs from Doom's standard, but we'll go with a B+, a cut above Rudy 2, with an added plus for the time it takes to get used to that absurd arsenal. Now for my Dean's List. Picking these was nearly impossible due to my massive conflict of interests, so I'm handing out 2 valedictorians and 2 salutatorians to disperse my own bias a bit. Valedictorian is a tie between Map 1, Back Ashore, and Map 18, Mallrats. Salutatorian is a tie between Map 12, Beautiful Clean Coal, and Map 15, Crowded House. Class President, Map 17, Poster Boy of Mayhem, and the dunce cap goes to Map 14, Lose Yourself to Dance. We have a very short honor roll for Rays 1 and 2, here it is. Map 1, House by the Bay from Ray Mohawk's Manic Monday. Map 4, Surfs Up in Nuketown. Map 6, Hidden Ship in Pirates Cove. Map 19, Archviolent, and Map 20, Ray of Hope. Thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to share your thoughts in the WAD down below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll heart your comments to let you know I've read them. Now, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons. Aaron Allen.
Wow, they... The Doom community never ceases to surprise me. Never. It always surprises me, always. Always more tricks. Always more idea. Oh, there he is. Always more ideas. Always more stuff. How? How? The thing as well that always ends up blowing my mind is how connected everyone is. Practically everyone knows each other. I mean, not literally everyone knows each other in the community, but there's like everyone's linked in like different ways. You know, it's like I have one person is connected to that person who knows this person, but that person there doesn't originally know this person. But that person knows this person. You know, it's just like it just ends up going like in a web of sorts. Everyone knows each other. Everyone always has crazy ideas that always, well, not always. Sometimes manage to make it stand out. Sometimes manage to, well, they can stand out for good reasons or not. But I can't even say anything. Because it's been almost 30 years now. The 30th anniversary is getting closer and closer to us now. And
Bimo Not a Crab, William Huber, and Waukeshack. Thank you. You're a patient lot, and I appreciate you all very much. This is Mount Pain 27, and I'll see you in the next episode of Dean of Doom.
you know, like I was saying, they never ceases to surprise me. That's why I honestly really love being in this community, because they always manage to make something different, something more. Even though there are some people who don't make something different, it's just like the same thing. They always do. Which is why I really love being in this community. Anyway. So wow, this was a really chaotic stream. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because I updated my graphics card or something. I don't know. Like, it's not the GeForce recently, and bad stuff starting to happen today. Like, really just today, because I didn't do anything else during the week. Just watching videos on my own. And yes, I can't believe, wow, seriously, 5 different streams. That has never happened before. Like, the max I think I ever reached was like 3 or 4. But geez, it wouldn't like crash directly after like 2 minutes. Like, seriously, everything went wrong. OBS crashed to the point where I had to go into Task Manager to actually close it because it couldn't end up closing properly. So many things went wrong. The clicking, the lagging, the losing frames, but they don't end up coming back. They just they just disappear. Because sometimes, most of the time when I lose frames, they just end up coming back. But this time, nope, nothing. Just went gone and like, no, fuck you. Every problem that could happen did. Except for the fact that my PC didn't crash. I did restart it, but it was because I thought it was gonna make it better when I feel like, it kind of worked, kind of. It was like half better. Half. Because the click stopped. But everything else went wrong. So, fuck me, I guess. But, yeah. So that's gonna be it for me today. Sorry about that. Sorry about this. Literally just this. I can't even say anything. So I guess I'm just gonna wait. You're a bit too loud, music. A bit too loud. There you go. So I guess I'm just gonna end this now. really sorry about this chaotic mess. But anyway, if you did stay through this, if you were patient enough, thank you so much. This was really annoying to deal with, and even if you think that it's annoying to watch, like when this kind of stuff happens, but when I'm sorry. If you think it's annoying to watch, how do you think I feel to deal with it? And I can't do anything. And nothing ends up working. It's more frustrating. Because you know, I leave you guys waiting when I like stop streams. So you guys are confused maybe. So it's like what like happens and stuff like that. Stupid bitch. Right? So, yeah. Anyway, so that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you, yeah, I'm just gonna say it anyway. Thank you so much everyone for watching. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and click the link man next to it. And also to make sure to include everyone, whatever time zone you are. There's a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, or even good afternoon. Most importantly, take care of you. With all that said, I'll see you all next time. And hopefully for a better time. Peace.